Welcome back to Dart Brain, the podcast where your dartboard doesn't judge you, but your inner monologue definitely does. And let's be honest, that voice in your head can be a real jerk. Hey there, dart nerds and tungsten wizards. Welcome back to Dart Brain, the only podcast where it's perfectly acceptable to have a full-blown emotional meltdown because your last dart clipped the wire on a double and you let your whole team down. I'm your host, Clint Clarkson, part-time darts philosopher, full-time overthinker, and today we're diving headfirst into the steamy, unpredictable, oddly shaped pool that is the darting mind. Now, this isn't your average backyard kiddie pool. Oh no. This one is filled with slippery distractions, swirling self-doubt, performance anxiety, and yes, a loud, hairy chimpanzee who refuses to stop yelling, "What if you miss?" In today's episode, we're getting personal. We're getting honest. We're going beyond the mechanics of grip and release, past the counting drills and checkout charts, and into the part of your game that quietly sabotages everything when you're not paying attention. We're talking about the stuff between your ears, the gray matter, the brain jelly, the mental motherboard that short circuits every time you're one dart away from glory and suddenly forget how to use your arm. That's right, today's episode is all about sports psychology and why you need it, or, as I like to call it, how to train your monkey brain not to scream like it's being chased by a tiger every time you line up a double 10. Because let's be honest, your biggest opponent isn't the guy across the oche. It's you, your brain, your thoughts, your inner critic who thinks it's helpful to remind you mid-throw that you once missed a checkout in 2017 and haven't emotionally recovered. So buckle in. Breathe deep and prepare to meet your dart brain face to face. It's time to tame the chaos. Let's do this. Let's get something straight right off the oche. Most dart players, whether you're a pub league regular, a tournament warrior, or a lone garage thrower with a dream, think their biggest weakness is something physical. Maybe it's your stance. Maybe your grip's too loose or too tight. Maybe your release is as inconsistent as your Uncle Gary's bowling form. Or maybe you've convinced yourself it's that weird little head tilt you do, the one that makes you look like a confused pigeon trying to read a subway map. But here's the uncomfortable truth. It's probably not your body that's holding you back. It's your brain. If darts was purely physical, we'd be training in the gym. There'd be dart players doing deadlifts, measuring their bicep to checkout ratio, or working with a personal trainer named Chad. But we're not. We're in the pub, baby. We're in a dimly lit rec room with sticky floors and cheap pints. We're grown adults emotionally unraveling because we hit a 5 when we needed a 20, all while a guy named Shane in a tank top breathes so loudly behind us it feels like a wind tunnel. So what gives? If you spent hundreds of hours perfecting your throw, practicing your setups, memorizing your checkouts, and still crumble the moment it actually matters, welcome to the club. The problem isn't your form, it's in your focus. This is where mental training comes in. It's the not-so-secret sauce that separates the sharpshooters from the panic lobbers. It's the difference between someone who thrives under pressure and someone whose throwing arm suddenly forgets how to function. And no, this isn't just some hairy-fairy believing-yourself nonsense. We're talking real science, sports psychology, brain training, the stuff Olympians use. Pro athletes swear by it. Even your Aunt Karen probably uses visualization techniques before her weekly bingo cage match. Because here's the harsh truth. You can own the best darts ever made, forged from mystical tungsten, blessed by a wizard, inscribed with your zodiac sign, perfectly balanced by a retired ninja, and forged from the sword Excalibur. You can practice until your forearm looks like it was sculpted by Michelangelo and your wrist snap could launch a paper airplane through a brick wall. But if your brain decides mid-throw, mid-match, mid-moment to shout, "Hey, what if you miss and everyone sees? What if you fail?" It's game over. That's where mental training saves the day. It teaches you not to listen to that voice, or better yet, it teaches you to smile at it, nod politely, and carry on like a professional. It's not about ignoring your thoughts, it's about mastering them, about building a brain that can handle pressure, tune out distraction, and show up when the moment counts, even if Shane is still back there breathing like a congested leaf blower. Because at the end of the day, darts isn't just a game of numbers, it's a game of nerves. So what is sports psychology really? Let's break it down without the textbook fluff and fancy jargon. At its core, sports psychology is the science, and sometimes witchcraft, of not completely falling apart under pressure. It's the mental armor you wear when everything starts to feel just a little too real. When your breathing gets shallow, when your heart starts doing double time and your brain decides to play the greatest hits of what if I miss and everyone's watching you. It's about learning to stay focused, confident, relaxed, and mentally present even when the crowd is roaring, your palms are sweating like you're gripping a sponge, and you suddenly realize you're down 2 legs to your buddy Ricky, who not only showed up smashed, but is still wearing sandals and socks and somehow still hitting doubles. Sports psychology is what helps you not crumble in those moments, or at the very least, to crumble quietly and with dignity. Now let me paint a picture. Imagine your brain at a darts match. It's not just playing a role. Oh no, your brain is the coach barking orders like a military drill sergeant. It's also the player nervously questioning every throw. It's the referee blowing imaginary whistles and yelling, "Nope, that form was all wrong." And yes, it's even the annoying fan in the back shouting, "You suck," every time you so much as glance towards the triple 20. Sports psychology is the toolkit that helps you shut that fan up, calm that coach down, get the player back in rhythm, and maybe even remind the ref that this isn't the World Cup. It's Thursday Night League at the Moose Lodge. It's about building resilience, finding focus in chaos, harnessing confidence, even when your throw feels like you're trying to guide a paper airplane through a hurricane. It's about keeping your cool when your knees are doing the Macarena and your dart suddenly weighs 12 metric tons. Let me put it in caveman terms. Your brain is still running software from the Stone Age. So when you walk up to the oche, that part of your nervous system, the primal bit, deep in your brainstem, doesn't see a dartboard. It doesn't see a quiet, focused environment where you calmly toss a precision instrument. No, it sees a woolly mammoth, or worse, a saber-toothed tiger. It thinks this is life or death. This is survival, fight, flight, panic, sweat, go. Your body tenses up. Your breathing shortens. Your hands tremble. All because your ancient survival brain doesn't know the difference between a match-deciding double and being chased barefoot through the forest by a giant prehistoric cat. Your job is to convince it otherwise. You've got to train your brain to recognize the dartboard as safe, as something you've seen 1,000 times, something you can handle. You're not in danger. You're just playing darts. You're in control. That's what sports psychology gives you. Not a way to eliminate pressure, but a way to transform it. From panic into performance, from stress into focus, from I can't handle this to bring it on. And once you learn to flip that switch, you go from hoping you play well to knowing you will. Let's talk about the unique psychology of darts. Unlike other sports where you can get hyped, throw a shoulder, scream into the void, darts is quiet. It's still. It's isolated. You're standing at the line, alone, with nothing but your own thoughts and a couple of blokes behind you hoping you miss. So why is darts so mentally brutal? Well, for one, you're on an island. It's you versus you. There's no teammates when you're at the oche, no ref. Just your thoughts, your slightly sweaty palms, and those concentric rings on the wall. You're alone at the oche, but everyone is watching you like you just walked into a surprise intervention. Second, every throw is a test. The game of darts is made of micro moments that all require maximum focus. Lose it for even a second? Welcome to 26 Town. Third is the adrenaline paradox. Other sports, you can grunt, yell, smash a racket. In darts, you do that, you're on YouTube the next day as a cautionary tale. It's like trying to thread a needle while riding a roller coaster. Fourth, mental fatigue is real, and it sneaks in like a ninja. 13 hours into a tournament, you're not thinking straight. Suddenly you make a scoring error or throw a haphazard dart. Welcome to the land of face palms. And finally, darts is so mentally brutal because your body betrays you. Ever been so nervous you could feel your heartbeat in the tips of your fingers? Yeah, darts plus nerves equals spaghetti limbs. Darts is a mind game. You don't just aim and throw. You aim, overthink, second guess, sweat, panic, change your grip, change it back, and then throw. So if you've ever missed a double and instantly questioned your entire life, if you've ever watched a dart fall on the floor and wondered why the dart gods hate you, or if you've ever mentally cursed someone's loud Velcro shoes, congratulations, you are in desperate need of sports psychology. Think of sports psychology like a mental upgrade. You're going from Windows 95 to DartBrain 3.0. It can teach you to focus like a laser beam, breathe like a Buddhist monk, laugh in the face of pressure, visualize greatness, even when your warm-up was 45, 60, 22, and most importantly, bounce back like a rubber chicken. The real difference between playing in your basement and playing at a tournament is that there's pressure. There is something different about playing a match where, when you lose, you don't get to keep playing. Your day's over. But pressure isn't the enemy. Let me say that again. Pressure isn't the enemy. Untrained pressure is. Pressure itself is just energy. It's adrenaline, focus, urgency. In the right hands, pressure is the thing that sharpens your edge. It's what gives you the energy to compete after 15 hours. It's what turns regular players into match-winning machines. But in the wrong hands, or more accurately, in an untrained mind, pressure becomes a saboteur, a gremlin with a bullhorn shouting, "Don't mess this up," right as you step to the oche. The key thing to understand is that anxiety isn't just in your head. It's in your hands, which shake or tense up at the worst possible moment. It's in your breath, which becomes short, shallow, and totally useless. It's in your throw tempo, which goes from smooth jazz to drunken tambourine solo. It's in your thoughts, which spiral from just throw like you practiced to what if I miss? What if everyone sees? What if I never hit a double again? Pressure messes with you. It messes with your routine. Suddenly you skip a breath or rush your setup. It messes with your confidence. Every throw feels like you need to be perfect or else. It messes with your grip, too tight, too loose, or both somehow at once. And it messes with your imagination. You start believing your opponent can read your mind, steal your soul, and sabotage your throw from 7 feet away with dark magic. So what's actually happening here? It all comes back to one of the most primal human responses: fight, flight, or freeze. That's right. When you're under stress, your brain doesn't say, yes, a darts match. Let's calmly execute motor skills. No, it says, danger, saber-toothed tiger, life or death, prepare for combat. Your nervous system can't tell the difference between the pressure of a crucial double 16 and the feeling of being hunted in the forest by something with fangs. Evolution didn't design us for darts. It designed us for survival. So let's break down the fight, flight, freeze response in dart-specific terms. Fight. You grip your dart like it insulted your mother. Your muscles tense up. You overthrow. Your body says, we must defeat the enemy. But the only enemy is a circular board on the wall, and maybe Shane's smug face. Flight. You want to run, metaphorically or literally. Your brain whispers, fake an injury, pretend your shoulder hurts, say you have to pee, flee the scene. You start throwing quicker just to get it over with. No aim, no focus, just survival mode and sneakers. And freeze. This is the worst one. You lock up, your hand won't move, your brain goes blank, you forget you're out, you forget how math works. You stare at the dart like it betrayed you. You think, why is my hand stuck? Am I broken? Should I reboot? The real kicker? You know it's happening and you can't stop it. You're inside your body watching it go haywire like a car skidding on ice, and all you can do is hang on and hope. Here's the truth, though. This isn't your fault. It's biology. It's instinct. But just because it's natural doesn't mean you're doomed. The solution isn't to avoid pressure. That's impossible. Pressure's baked into the game. It's part of what makes darts so thrilling. The solution is to train your mind to handle it. Train it like Rocky prepared for Apollo Creed, but instead of punching slabs of meat, you're working on breath control, mindfulness, positive self-talk, and building routines that ground you like an emotional anchor. It's learning how to calm your nervous system on command, how to flip the switch from caveman panic to Zen assassin. You're not trying to eliminate the fight, flight, freeze response. You're learning to override it, to walk up to the oche, feel the pressure, and say, yep, I see you, but I've trained for this. And that is where the real games begin. I remember warming up at the Chris Hatter Memorial in Medicine Hat, Alberta in 2007. Jerry Convery, Canada's #1 player at the time and 4-time participant in the PDC World Championships, was playing beside me. At the time, I was continually hitting a wall. Every time I'd get into a big match, the nerves would get to me. I'd struggle, especially on doubles. So I asked Jerry, how do I stop my heart from beating so hard and my hands from getting sweaty? Jerry's reply, you don't. I was shocked. He was Canada's top player telling me I couldn't get over my nerves. But he followed up and said, you have to learn to use it. The best players play their best when they feel that pressure. I went on to make the finals of that tournament, where Jerry whitewashed me 5-0, but I took that mantra with me for years. Anytime I got nervous, I would say to myself, this is when the best players play their best. I didn't know it at the time, but that sort of mantra, that sort of mental reset, is an incredibly powerful sports psychology tool. Let's talk brains, because, believe it or not, you've got more than one running the show up there. In his brilliant book, The Chimp Paradox, Dr. Steve Peters lays out a simple but powerful concept. Your brain is made up of 2 main characters, a chimp and a professor. Think of it like this. Your chimp brain. This is your emotional toddler. It's wild, irrational, dramatic, and just a little bit feral. The chimp brain lives in your limbic system, the part of your brain responsible for fear, survival, and responding to anything it thinks is dangerous with full-blown sirens and screaming. In darts, this is the part of your brain that says, we're about to lose, panic, everyone is watching, throw it as fast as possible and pretend you're fine. The chimp brain is all emotion all the time. It doesn't care about your training. It doesn't care about your strategy. It doesn't even care that this is just a darts match and not a gladiator pit. To the chimp, missing a double is a life-threatening social humiliation, and the only appropriate response is to flail wildly or freeze like a deer in headlights. Now, meet the inner sage, the professor brain. Logical, calm, methodical, probably British, possibly wears glasses and sips tea. The professor brain lives in your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that plans, reflects, analyzes, and keeps you from making decisions that end in disaster. In darts, the professor brain is the one that says, breathe, you've hit this double 1,000 times in practice. It's just a miss. It's fine. Reset. Focus on the next shot. Let's stay in the moment and remember that Shane's loud breathing is not an actual threat to our existence. This brain is your coach, your navigator, your best friend when the match is tight and the nerves are kicking. It keeps your emotions in check. It helps you think clearly when everything feels like it's starting to unravel. So, how do you deal with these two brains in competition? When you're practicing alone in your garage with your favorite playlist and zero consequences, the professor brain is running the show. You're thinking clearly, you're relaxed. Your throw is fluid, you're in a groove, you hit that double 18 like it's muscle memory, because it is. But when the match counts, when there's an audience, a trophy, a league title, or even just bragging rights on the line, guess who kicks the professor out of the driver's seat? Yep, the chimp. Suddenly the professor is tied in the trunk while the chimp grabs the wheel and screams, "Everything is on fire, throw faster!" And here's the wild thing. The chimp actually believes it's helping. Its job is to protect you. It's scanning for threats, not just physical, but social. Things like embarrassment, shame, or being judged by Shane. The chimp doesn't understand darts. It understands danger, and it thinks losing or missing or looking bad is the end of the world. Meanwhile, the professor is in the trunk trying to whisper, "It's just a game. Let's focus on our mechanics." But the chimp is already doing donuts in your mental parking lot. Your job as a darts player isn't to get rid of the chimp. You can't. It's part of your brain, and honestly, it's useful in situations where you do need to react quickly or escape danger. But you can learn to manage it. You can train your professor brain to recognize when the chimp is acting out. You can train it to step in with calming routines, breath work, and focus cues. And you can teach it to regain control when the chimp starts launching emotional banana grenades during a tense match. Mental training, mindfulness, visualizations, routines, positive self-talk, all of it is about strengthening the professor's voice so it stays loud and clear even when the chimp is flipping tables. So next time you feel the panic rise, the sweat start, and the inner chaos build, pause, take a breath, and remember your goal is simple. Don't let the chimp drive the bus. Let the professor take the wheel. All right, let's hit the recap bullseye. In this episode, we took a deep dive into the wild world of sports psychology, the not-so-secret weapon that separates pub league meltdowns from tournament-winning performances. Most importantly, we reinforced the big idea. If you want to play your best darts under pressure, you've got to train the mental part of your game just as hard, if not harder, than your mechanics. Because it's not just about throwing a dart. It's about learning to think, breathe, and focus like a champion. And we're just getting started. In the next episode, we're going to take a deep dive into the dart brain itself, the control room where your mental game lives. We'll explore two forces battling for control of it: mischievous gremlins that mess with your focus, and powerful guardians that protect it. You'll learn how to recognize when gremlins are hijacking your throw, how to strengthen your inner guardians, and how to build a dart brain that stays cool, confident, and consistent even in the highest pressure moments. So until then, take a breath, trust your throw, and for the love of tungsten, don't let the monkey drive the bus. I'm Clint Clarkson, and this has been the Dart Brain Podcast. Until next time, stay focused, throw with purpose, and train your dart brain.